Good morning, students. Today we are about to see into a very pertinent, imperative concept, which, when adopted in our life, will definitely lead us to a path of human excellence. It's called fivefold moral culture. By this time, you would have known that man, human being, has evolved over a thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. The divine state's evolution has resulted in human being, and human life is the pinnacle, or if I may call it a zenith of the divine evolution. Initially, initially, humans used to live in forests, dense and dark forests. Slowly, when they started moving out of the forest into the plains, and from there on, they moved into various places in groups. Certain people stayed back, certain people moved ahead, they went into various directions, and accordingly, the human life was spread across the globe as small pockets of groups. Each and every group, in accordance with the climatic conditions of the place they were settled in, started growing the vegetables and other activities, and they developed certain practices to protect themselves from the natural conditions, whether it be hot or cold. Over a period of time, these practices became the identification of those societies, and it is called as culture. These practices developed by human is called as culture. Swamiji used to give an excellent definition for this term culture. In Tamil, it is called as Kalacharam. Kalai plus Acharam. இயற்கையை போல் போலி செயல் கலை என்பா முழுமை நலம் ஆச்சாரம். This is what Swamiji used to say. Unlike the animals, human mind developed the capability to adopt the natural resources in such a manner that it changed those natural resources to suit the needs of the human beings. For example, the animals used to live in the tree branches, in the caves, in the naturally formed caves, whereas the human being, seeing the caves, decided to construct a house of its own. This is how human being took the natural resources, developed it into such a manner that it benefits the self and the society. When, as long as it doesn't harm anybody, including the natural resource itself, then it is achar. Achar means not to inflict anybody in any manner, not to cause damage or harm to anybody. Kalai, art means to adopt the natural resources. So, Kalai plus Achar, Kalacha was later on adopted by British or in the English language as culture. This definition or explanation is going to be crucial for our understanding in the henceforth chapters. So, slide for slides, please. The fivefold path of virtue. This is what we are going to look into. Next one, sir. There are five essential duties cast upon a human being. Before we go into the fivefold path of virtue, let us try to understand in a brief what these five duties are. These five duties are: first one to the self, second one to the family, third one to the relatives, fourth one to the society, and this society is expanded into two forms. One is to the country and another one is to the world. So there are duties to five, which is simply put as five duties to be performed by every individual. Now we will look into each and every aspect. Next slide, sir. The self. What is self? By this time you would have got used to the two triangles. about the self and about the other one. The self is nothing but physical body, life force, and mind. This is what we call it as self as an individual. It is imperative that every individual has to take care of his health, his well-being. This well-being is into three aspects. One, physical well-being. Second, mental or psychological well-being. And third, economical well-being. Physical, mental, and economical well-being are the three basic fundamental rights as well as duties cast upon every human being. We are all in this. I mean, you people are all in this human in the students' career now. You will be definitely going to various levels in your career advancements. Life will throw you opportunity. There is not even a single human being which has gone without an opportunity throughout the life. Many have not used it. Those who have used it have definitely become successful. So, life will definitely give you an extraordinary opportunity at some point of your life. It may happen at 25 years or it may happen at 20, 45, 50 years. Nobody knows, but you will definitely get that opportunity. When that opportunity comes, you should be capable of taking it with both the hands and make out of it. For example, today we may think we have enormous strength, we can do a lot of work, 16 hours a day, even we can do work and all. But what if it comes at 45 or 46 years? We cannot afford to miss the opportunity. So, physical well-being is required at any point of life throughout the life. At any point of life throughout the life. Till you breathe the last. Today, you are in the stepping stone of your career. Another 60, 70 years of wellness awaits you. You have to be physically fit and agile to take the opportunities which the life throws at you. Then only you can establish a successful career. Out, if there are 10 opportunities given to you, you should score 10 out of 10. You cannot say, I scored 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10, I got 70% of that, and I know. 10 out of 10 will make you a super success man. Whether you want to be an average, or you want to be above average, or you want to take every opportunity that life throws upon you and become a successful professional, entirely depends on you. For which the physical well-being is very critical. What does this physical well-being means? Does it mean merely development of muscles and arms and all those things? No, that is a very minuscule part. So physical well-being depends on essential three circulations: the blood circulation, air circulation, and heat circulation. ரத்த வெப்ப காற்று ஓட்டங்கள். இந்த மூன்று ஓட்டங்கள். Only when these circulations are in a perfectly synchronized manner, a person is able to lead a healthy life. Any deterioration or shortfall in the circulation of these three will result in a short circuit. That is called as disease. Or any, when these three circulations are not functioning to that optimal level, it results in a lesser immunity. Today we see everywhere the word immunity has gained the significance and attention never like before. Immunity is the one which is going to protect you from any sort of thing. Fortunately, the Sky Yoga practitioners have got two extraordinary practices to develop their immunity. One is simplified physical exercises, which has certain simple movements which can be practiced by any person at any age across the globe. There is not even a single exercise which no person in any corner of the world say, no, I cannot perform this. This doesn't suit my lifestyle. Everything is a simple practice: rotation of arms, rotation of legs, breathing exercise, whatever it is. It is a simple practice which can be done by any person in any corner of the world. The next comes Kayakalpa Yoga, the unique Kayakalpa Yoga. In my opinion, my dear students, Kayakalpa Yoga is the pinnacle of Manavalakali, the Sky Yoga. The Kayakalpa Yoga alone is capable of giving you enormous amount of energy and develop your immunity levels. When the combo of these two, the simplified physical exercises and the Kayakalpa Yoga, the combination of these two will give you enormous physical strength to take up anything which the life throws at you. Such will be your potential, your energy levels. So physical health is really essential for any living being, for any human being, and our simplified physical exercise and Kayakalpa yoga helps you to sustain a high level of physical well-being. The next comes the mental health. Every one of us is going to work more from our mind than our hands or legs or physical labor. So it is appropriate that we keep our mental strength, because today we see many people suffering from this depression, whatever you may call as mental fatigue, and later stages, what they call as Alzheimer, dementia. So many things are coming up. The medical world, the medical terms are throwing upon us. All this means mental lack of strength. Just like a physical lack of strength results in physical dis-ease, which is called as disease. Similarly, the mental lack of strength results in such fatigue or depression or whatever it is. In order that we remain physically fit and mentally agile at any point of our life, the Simplified Sky Yoga has given you the meditation system, wherein the mind frequencies are now, which are normally functioning at 14 to 40 cycles per second, or by systematic practice, you are capable of taking it to subtle levels of 7 to 13, wherein you will see things with more clarity and more ability and agility. Then comes the economic stability. When you have a physical fitness and psychological well-being, when you are going to apply these two in your work life, then the economic stability is an eventual result. It cannot go away from you. You will definitely earn good. You will definitely lead a good lifestyle, which is beneficial both to the self and the society. Next slide, sir. Dues to the society. Swamiji used to say, due to the society is the duty. In Tamil, kadan mai. Samudayathiற்கு நீ பட்ட கடனே கடன்மை என்பார் Swamiji. From the time of our birth till the time we start living of our own, whether it be 14 years or 18 years or 25 years, till our education is over and we establish our professional career, till such time someone is taking care of us. We may think it's our parents. They alone are not capable of taking care of us. We need the societal help. Similarly, at a later point of our life, maybe 65, 70, 75, there will come a stage when we will be no more be able to work as much as we have worked today. At that point also, the society is going to take care of us. The young and the old, in between comes the youthfulness. This is the period when we have to work. Why? Because we are indebted to the society which has taken care of us during our childhood days and which is going to take care of us in our old age. In between period, we have to repay that debt. The next slide. Now we come to the core chapter, the fivefold path of virtue. 1. I shall work for a living. This is the first and foremost one. Every person has his own needs. He has to fulfill his ambitions and needs by delivering to the best of his physical or intellectual service to the society. In return, he gets his needs fulfilled through the societal help. For example, every person have 5 basic aspects: food, shelter, dress, friendship, and finally rest. All these needs a societal help to satisfy. By contributing to the society, he is going to get back from the society. So he has to give it to the society and then take back from the society in the form of his earnings. If he cannot fulfill these 5 basic needs by his own earning, it becomes necessary that he will fall upon someone else's hard-earned possessions, which means we will be relying upon other people's revenue and wealth to satisfy our needs, which is nothing but exploitation. every person has to work. You may work, you may or may not work hard, but you have to work with passion. You may or may not work hard, but you have to work with passion in whatever you do. Passion, if you split it into two, it is pass ion. Ion is nothing but charge. A charged particle is called as ion. Pash and ion, pass ion. As a Manavala Kalanja, as a Sky Yoga practitioner, every one of you will be charged with enormous amount of positive energy by your systematic practices of simplified exercises, simplified Kaya Kalpa Yoga, and simplified meditation practices. These positive energy will be spreading wherever you go and whoever you are amongst with. This spreading, this passing of your charged energy is called as pass ion. When it reflects in your work, when you transmit this positive energy in your work, that's why I said you may or may not work hard. Do it with a passion. Your positive energy will pass on to your work, which in turn will lead you to a super success. When this pass ion or passion is spread among the fellow beings without any help, without expectation of, without any other expectation from them, it is called as compassion. We are all living in a community, the social community. When you pass on this energy, it becomes compassion. The criticality of I shall work for a living emanates from the fact that if any person is not working, then he will have to depend upon others. I will just give you one small example. Begging. Begging at a young age. We see so many beggars at a very young age, 14, 20, 25, 30. What does this mean? They are capable of working, but unwilling to work. 70, 60 plus, 70 plus, that is different matter altogether. The society can take care of those old people. But a person at the age of 25 or 30, if he is not willing to work and going for begging, and if you are going to encourage it, means tomorrow, today you have and you give. Tomorrow, if nobody is going to give anything to him, then what will he do? Since he is not used to work, what will he do? If you are not going to give, then he will start taking it from you. That is called as theft. A beggar today is a thief groomed for tomorrow. Keep it in mind. The next one, I shall not harm anyone. This is very imperative. When you go for your professional advancement, you should work for the betterment of your own self, but that doesn't mean a cutthroat of others. For the benefit of the self, you cannot choose to hit the others. The competitiveness levels may change, may vary. Someone may gain an upper hand at some point of time, other one may gain an upper hand at some other point of time. That doesn't mean you have to kill, you have to hit any other person. You should never ever harm anyone for the benefit of the self. The third one, I shall not kill for food. I don't want to elaborate much on this. With the advancement of agricultural technologies, with the level of food that we can make through agricultural activities, we don't need to kill any animal for the sake of food, mere food. You can do it with agriculture. Fourth one, I shall not plunder the freedom of others or possession of others. I shall not plunder the freedom or possession of others. This is an outcome of the first and second principle, that I shall work for a living, I shall not harm anyone. Based on this, you will say, I shall not plunder the freedom or possession of others. Every person has as much freedom of living as you have. Every person has as much freedom of possession of wealth as you have. It is a bounden duty cast upon every individual that he should respect other people's freedom for living, earning, and possession as much as he does for his own self. This is a form of property. The public will do have as much freedom as you have. Then comes the fifth one, I shall help the others. This comes with a single understanding that we are nothing part of a whole. as a whole. Today, we may say, I am an individual, but when you take your surroundings, you see that there are around 100 families in your street. When you expand yourself, you see there are around 10 lakh people in your city. When you expand further, you see around 7 to 10 crores in your own state. When you see expand further, you will know that you are one among the 130 crore Indians. When you enlarge that thought, then you will understand that you are one among the 750 crore people of this world. So you have both a right to exist in this world through the help of the others, and in turn, you have a right duty cast upon you to contribute for the benefit of the self and the 750 crore people of this world. This will come through systematic Manavalakala yoga practices, which will lead you to understand that you are a small particle, but nevertheless, you are a kingpin in the whole. Next slide, sir. You may think, as an individual, will I be able to do this of my own? It's a very pertinent question. As an individual, we may not be able to change the world, but definitely as an individual, we will be able to contribute our might to this mighty cause. A small sparkle, a small spark develops into a wildfire. Small trickles develop into a huge river. Similarly, we, the Sky Yoga practitioners, today we may be the small trickles, but tomorrow we are going to be the huge river, which will definitely cause a definitive impact in the way in this world is going to behave in the future for the betterment, for a better world, for a better future. Keep that in mind. How are we going to do this? புதியதொரு பண்பாடு உலகுக்கு வேண்டும் போதை போர் பொய் புகை ஒழித்து அமல் செய்வோம். We need a cultural part which will be synchronized and which will be capable of being adopted at every sphere of life across the globe. That is the need of the heart. How will we do this? By eradicating the drugs, the wars, the lie, and the smoke or the tobacco practices. We will definitely be able to do this. Next slide, please. This is the bit elaboration of what we have seen in the earlier, the fivefold path of virtue. It is just to earn through hard and sincere work, live off that income, and assist those in need. Next slide. Non-violence. Once we understand that we are part of the whole, and so is everybody, and everything we see is nothing but divine manifestation, we will never ever be able to inflict pain upon anybody. The next slide, please. Never kill for food. Next slide, please. Not to take away the other's freedom. This freedom is freedom of right to earn, freedom of right to possess, freedom of right to live. That should be respected and honored. The next one, sir. Charity. This is what I told as compassion, benevolence. When you know that you are part and parcel of the society, and when you know that the society is helping you in innumerable manner. Just for example, consider your morning breakfast. When you have your breakfast, just take a handful of it. See how many helping hands are behind this. You may simply say, this is my mother who has cooked this for me. But for her to cook that food, how did that agricultural produce reach to her, your home? Through the transportation, through the roads. So how many hands have gone behind this? The stove, the LPG cylinder, the cylinder delivery boy, the person who created, the manufacturer, the iron and steel for the cylinder. So many hands have gone behind a single hand of your foot. You should bear this in mind. Then you will understand how you are indebted to the society, how you are bound to repay that back to the society. Then comes the compassion. You will start delivering to the benefit of the society without any other expectation that the entire world may enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. That's where our slogan is, Vaalga Vaiyagam, Vaalga Valamai. Next one, please. The fivefold moral path has further been put into just two aspects, which we are going to say at the end of every meditation second. One is, in my lifetime, I shall not harm anyone physically or mentally. This is the outcome of the first and fifth we may say. I shall, when there are all possible assistance, I shall render help when with all possible assistance to those who in pain. This is also coming out of the compassion and benevolence which we spoke about. No individual or country devoid of the noble quality of charity can flourish. Charity doesn't mean giving something to the beggar. It means an innate feeling for a fellow human being, for a fellow living being. Next one, sir. Our duties. The system of Manavala Kalai, which we are undergoing now, have been designed with divine awareness. You would, by this time, you would have read about Swamiji. Swamiji is a qualified Siddha and Ayurveda practitioner. He is also a homeopathy practitioner. He was a leading industrialist, textile industries. Like he was a leading industrialist, and once during his lifetime, he was one among the top southern taxpayers in South India. With his medical and so psychological background or experience of moving with various sections of the society, he has designed this Manavala Kalai, the sky yoga, the various practices associated with it, whether it be simply physical exercise or Kaya Kalpa yoga or meditation or introspection. Everything has emanated out of the experience which Swamiji has gained over years and years, tens and twenties and thirties of years. We have learned it now. How we are going to contribute to the society, practice it, make it your lifestyle by which people around you will also be positively impacted and the entire world will become a better place to live in the next generation. Next one, sir. World peace. This world is made up of many countries. Every country is made of many societies and cultures. Society is made of many families. Families are made of individuals. So, when an individual changes himself, he impacts the family, which in turn impacts the society, which in turn impacts the country, which in turn impacts the entire world. Be that single spark for the whole gamut of fire. Be that small trickle, and as trickles, we can join together and flow through this globe as a bountiful river, as a perennial river. வற்றாத ஜீவநதியாய் இந்த வையகமெங்கும் பாய நம்மால் முடியும் சிறுதுளி பெருவெள்ளம். The next slide, sir. With this, we are about to conclude this session. Thank you all for joining in this morning session. Be blessed with divine bliss. Divine bliss. குருவருளும் திருவருளும் எப்பொழுதும் உங்களுக்கு துணை செய்யும். வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன், குரு வாழ்க.